on a clean sheet of paper. Can I hold your notebook, please? Okay, so here are all of V-size notes that he's taken already. If I write anything, it's going to go on this page. He's going to turn to the next clean piece of paper on here, and this is going to be the start of our sample in-class paragraph that we're going to do with you guys. Okay? On this page is going to go everything that you see on this Google Doc. So you're working on 2 different pages.
And we expect you to have this down perfectly. Like, these are notes you're going to refer to for sure on Wednesday and the rest of this week when you do this writing. We have a TA that works with us 3rd hour, and that does what Jocelyn does. And she said that when she, and I don't know if you'd agree or not, Jocelyn, but she said she looked back at this model paragraph all the time for the whole rest of the year because it really helped her kind of get her writing in that right format. So it absolutely is a day to pay attention with punctuation and everything. We're going to teach you a lot of stuff today that you already need on Wednesday. Okay, so here we go. The very first thing we're going to teach you is a mnemonic device or an acronym to help you remember how to do your headings in MLA format. Okay, so in MLA format, which is the Modern Language Association, you have to have a certain kind of heading. The way that we remember that heading is this mnemonic device, MYCD, my CD. Okay, the M stands for my name. So just, this is in your notes part right now that you're writing this. I'll let you talk.
Yep. So the M is going to stand for my name, which means like the person who is writing the essay's name. Okay. So it could be V-size name. Here, you would write. Oh, I'm going to butcher this. V-size Laura. This is his paper. Okay. The Y is going to stand for your instructor's names. Okay.
That is definitely not how you spell my name.
Is it just no H?
How did you do it?
Yeah, there's no H.
Was it close?
Close. Yeah.
Okay. So the Y is going to be your instructor's names. Okay. So that would be Mrs. Harchis and Mrs. Cummings. The C is going to stand for class. So what class are you guys in? English 1. Yep. C is standing for class. So just as a side note, any number that's 10 or less, you have to write out. So you can't just write English and like the number 1. It's got to be O-N-E, like spelled out with the word 1. English 1. And then finally, the D is going to be the date military style, which there's some special rules for that. So the way the date looks is you're going to start with like the actual day. So today is the 24th. So I'm going to write 24. The month is the first 3 letters of the month unless it's June or July. So for September, it would be S-E-P, period. Okay. This would be minus June or July. Those get fully spelled out. And then finally, the year 2018.
Okay, so we warned you were going to be a little flip happy today and getting all these notes and your model paragraph down. So you have all this by your notes, and then on a brand new page, I want you to start like you're writing a paragraph that you're going to turn in for us. So instead of V-size name right here, put yours. Okay? So your name, then our names, then English 1, and then the date military style. It should all be left justified all the way over to the left, just like I have it on the screen. So again, my name is in your name, right? So you're putting your name there. So on the top, LaQuamty, that'd be you, right? On the top, Alea, that'd be you. On the top, Dakota, that'd be you. Then our names, Mrs. Harchis and Mrs. Cummings. Then the class name, English 1. So right here. And then the date military style. So I was telling our other hour that there's a really funny thing right now going around on social media for this girl who turned in her paper in college, and she couldn't remember what her professor's name was, but she had to do her proper name heading, just like you guys are doing. So she had her name, and then she had Professor What's His Nuts. And then she submitted it, and she forgot to change it. So then the professor thought it was funny. So he posted it on his social media account. So it's blowing up. It's all over BuzzFeed. And it's totally she turned the paper in, oh, Leia, Professor What's His Nuts. And on her apology letter to him, she said, I made a mistake with your name. So the professor's like, well, I thought that maybe she spelled my name wrong. And then I looked at the paper and I was like, oh, Professor What's His Nuts. Oh, they had other funny examples on there. This one guy said that once he had done that and he had Professor A-hole. So that would be probably worse. Yeah. So yeah, you probably just want to actually put the right names in there so you don't by mistake hit send and then have that be you.
That's a good rule of thumb. But the moral of the story is that what we're teaching you right now is something that's going to carry on beyond high school and into college. So at the beginning of the year when, we had that first boring day where I sat and I went through the syllabus with you and I talked to you about English 1 non-negotiables, we said MLA style was part of that, and don't worry, we'll get to it. Well, today is us getting to it. So from here on out, the expectation is that when you turn in a paper in this class, you have the MLA style 4-line heading. So we know this is a lot of information to throw at you, but there's more to it than just that. So besides the heading like this, there's also rules for what your title is going to look like. So the title of your piece, you're going to just hit enter so there's a space in between here. Then you're going to center it, and that's where your title goes. You don't make the font bigger. You don't bold it. You don't underline it. It's just with the big words in the title capitalized, whatever the name of your project or paper is.
So skip a line right now, and then you're going to put your title in the center. Our title should reflect what we're going to write about. We're going to write about Joseph. So we're going to write about Joseph's paranoia. Okay, so we're going to go, we already know that. Paranoia. We're going to center that, okay? So Joseph's paranoia, that's the characteristic we're going to talk about today. What? You guys are copying this in your notebook to use as a model. Okay, so if I have it written up there, you better have it written in your notebook. All right, so notice I capitalized my titles. You always capitalize your titles, people. All the words in your title, okay? Center it, capitalize it. Now I'm going to skip another line. So you should skip another line as well. Now we're going to start our paragraph. What do you do every time you have a new paragraph? You're going to indent, right? So since I'm on the computer, I'm going to have to go back to left justification. I'm going to have to tab in. So I'm starting my new paragraph.
Can I use Comic Sans font if I want?
No, this isn't kindergarten. So you always have to use Times New Roman. That's what professors want. That's what we want. Times New Roman, 12-point font. You mess with your font, you mess with your margins, you mess with your grade, people. Okay? There is a state standard that says you know how to write a formal paper in the proper style. That standard means can you follow MLA format? So you're going to, again, be already tested on this week yet. 12-point Times New Roman. So look, I'm in Arial automatically, apparently, which I don't know that we'd really call you on too much, to be honest. At least it's not a weird font. We might not notice, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in Times New Roman, 12-point C, but I'm not going to because then you won't be able to see it. I'm going to keep it in giant font. Okay.
So another thing that's a part of that is that you're going to also double space yours when you're doing it. For the sake of what we can fit on the smartboard today, we're not going to hit double space. But we do have students that have questions about that. So your 4-line heading here is remain single spaced, but the rest of the paper will be double spaced when you type on Google Docs.
Okay, the next thing that you need to know is that whenever we're talking about literature in English, we always properly introduce our sources. We have another mnemonic device that we use to show you how to remember this. Okay, can anyone tell us what that is? It's TAG. Okay, you use TAG to remember how to introduce your sources.
Does anyone know what TAG stands for? TAG is going to stand for title, author, and genre. So most of you probably know what title and author mean, but does anyone have an idea what genre could mean? Genre? Yeah, Kennedy? Book would be an example of a genre. Yeah, movie would be an example of a genre. Poem, article, short story.
I'm going to take some up here too so that this video makes sense.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's still good that we're doing it. Movie. All right, so hopefully you're getting these in your notes, right? Now don't let me confuse you because now this is me just having some notes up here. So don't put it where this goes, okay? I know it might have confused you, but we're screen recording right now for students that are absent. And so I'll just put a really big notes on the top of here so you guys realize. If you just pay attention to Miss Krause when she's writing on the board, you'll be just fine. But this is for our students who aren't here. Okay, now we're back to our paragraph, okay? It doesn't want to. Okay. All right. It looks like I had to go back. Indent. Thank you, Dakota. All right. So I indented my paragraph. What's the very first thing I know that I need to do according to our little chart up here? I need a sentence that tells what the main idea of my paragraph is, right? Should I write something like, I am going to write about? Never. Never do that. Ever. Never say you're going to write about something.
Which some of you totally did in your baselines.
Never do that. Just do it, okay? So don't ever write about what you're going to write. So I'm going to delete that. Instead, I'm just going to write my topic sentence. So who's our author? You guys take out your packets, okay?
Yep, so
Take out your orbiting Jupiter packets. So first I have to properly use my tag, okay? Take out your packets, everybody. This is an expectation. All right, so what's our author's name, guys? In Gary D. Schmidt. What's our genre? Why'd I put that apostrophe in there, everybody? What's up with the apostrophe? It's his book. Good, Lily. It shows ownership. So in Gary D. Schmidt's novel, Orbiting Jupiter, notice I capitalized the title. Who can tell me what else do I have to do with the title of a book?
Underline it.
Underline it. Good. I can underline it, or I could do something else. What else can you do if you're typing? Italicize. Awesome. Yep, if you're typing, you can italicize. So in Gary D. Schmidt's novel, Orbiting Jupiter. Now, what do I do if it's the title of a short story, everybody? Do I underline or italicize it? What do I do, Levi? No. What do you do with the title of a short work?
The little hooks.
You put the little hooks around it. You put quotation marks around short works. So, short stories, poetry, articles go in quotation marks. Long works get italicized or underlined. So add that into your notes, everybody. So I'm switching over to my notes page, just like what Mrs. Cummings is writing here. Okay. All right, so I got my tag in there. Title, author, genre. Some of you are looking at me like that was too fast to flip it. But that's because Mrs. Cummings was already writing it over here.
Yeah, it's on the board over there, left, but you're right. Like we said, Mrs. Parks is an open there for our absent kids.
All right, so I got my tag, but that's just an intro phrase, people. All I did is introduce my source, okay? Now we got to get our topic sentence that says what we're going to write about, and we're not going to say, I am going to write about. You never use I when you're writing formally, first off. That's not formal writing. We avoid I, you, me, okay? This isn't something we covered in the other hour, but we should probably cover it now. Whenever you're writing about literature, unless you're specifically told to offer your opinion, no I, you, or me, okay? You keep it in third person, okay? So formal writing is done in third person. Avoid the I, you, and me. So in Gary D. Schmidt's novel, Orbiting Jupiter, one of the main characters, oh no, we're not supposed to be underlining yet. Now you should pause because we might take a minute to get this right. What did you say I should type, Visai?
Joseph is a paranoid little boy.
So we need the idea that Joseph is paranoid in this main sentence, right? Because that's what we're going to be proving in this whole essay. So let's try to figure out how we can word that a little bit.
Because we don't want to call him a little boy because it sounds kind of like slangish, you know?
Joseph is a paranoid, eighth grader. Yes, paranoid eighth grader. A paranoid middle schooler with a dark background.
Okay, but we want to really stay on track though. Like you have a lot of good ideas there, but we really want to, like, we don't want to start writing about his athletic abilities and that either, right? Like a dark background's not bad actually. Like I think it kind of like hints at what we're talking about. In Gary D. Schmidt's novel, we're just trying to find the best wording here, Visai. Because we want to be concise too. In Gary D. Schmidt's novel, Orbiting Jupiter, Joseph, one of the main characters, displays
many characteristics of paranoia.
Many characteristics of paranoia.
I think so. Yeah, just many characteristics of paranoia.
Characteristics of or displays a characteristic paranoia. I know what you're saying because paranoia can be like a mental illness. Now you made it complicated. I don't know if that's going to be confusing. And Gary, see how we're going over it? This is what good writers do. So you guys might feel annoyed that we're talking this through, but this is what we should be doing. Bad writers write it and they're like, whatever, I'm just going to keep writing. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'll just keep doing it. No, you got to stop and figure out, is this the best way to put this? And if you're bored, Levi, come up with a better way. Fix it for me then.
Many signs.
You know, like those of you that are, shaking your head, fix it. We don't think it sounds right. How can we make it sound better? Visai.
Change characteristics into signs.
Displays many signs. I kind of like that actually. Okay, write that sentence in. Thanks for your help, Visai.
So while Mrs. Hartness
Hello?
is on the phone, what I want you to do is I want you to look with the people at your table
Sure.
and you need
Thank
to
you.
figure out what are the 2 pieces of evidence you're going to use to support that Joseph is paranoid, okay? So, like you can see in the structure of this paragraph, we need 2 quotes to find. So with the people at your table, talk now. What are the best instances we've read so far that show Joseph is a paranoid person?
I'm
So
calling
talk.
on you, Levi. You're running the show, so you better find your examples.
Hey, I don't know where any of my packets are. There aren't
Look
any-
for them, beside.
I did. I looked in all my folders and there's no stray.
You're
papers.
probably one of those students who just leaves them sit in the table.
I think that is what I did.
You know what I do with those? I throw them away. Go get new ones.
Are you talking about the packets or him?
Jocelyn, don't record when I'm yelling at students meanly. Only the nice stuff we record. No.
Isn't just recording the audio?
I forgot that I was being recorded when I was yelling at B-side and Levi.
That's fine. Where do I even find them? Is it just recording audio? Yeah.
Think of one.
Oh, yeah. Now he likes
All right, so what do we have to do next, guys? Find the evidence. Why? Why do we need it? How do you know that?
Prove our man.
Well, why don't we just start writing about our background?
Because that's irrelevant.
Because, well, that's something else.
Can we write the background without knowing the evidence? No, that would be really awkward and strange and weird, people. So first you're going to find your best examples. I want the best example you can think of in all the reading so far. Who thinks they've got it? Alea, what do you got?
He won't let anyone stand behind him. He won't let anyone touch him. He won't go in the house that too small. He won't be, he can't be big.
What page are you on?
He won't let anyone do.
All right. Alea's on page 3. I don't know if I can make this work or not like this. All right, Alea's on page 3. Where on page 3, Alea?
Well, it's like the second paragraph.
Right here? Okay. Hey, do you remember what this is called?
Oh, it's a craft move or something.
It is a craft move. It just made me so happy that you used the words craft move.
Parallelism.
The aphoria thing.
Parallelism, anaphora, good. So let's see. He won't let anyone stand behind him. What the heck? What's wrong with my... Oh, yeah. Okay, he won't let anyone stand behind him. He won't let anyone touch him. He won't go into rooms that are too small, and he won't eat canned peaches. All right. How do the rest of you feel about that piece of evidence? Is that the best one? It's pretty darn good. If we're going to use that one, what are we going to use for our number 2, though? Levi, it's so nice to see you raising your hand.
So on like page 19, it starts to talk about how he cried and how he'd say when he was sleeping.
Okay. Go ahead, Miss Cummings.
So page 19, was that in the second packet, Levi?
Okay, we got page 19, top, bottom, where?
At the top of page 19.
The top, yeah.
Okay, I wish this was bigger, but... Or how he'd start to cry, this part, and then he'd only say a name, and he'd say it like it was someone he'd do anything to find that one? Or which part, Levi?
Yeah, that part.
You think that shows he's paranoid?
Well, a little bit above it
Okay, which part?
when you sleep.
Read it.
They didn't hear what he said in his sleep, how he'd holler, right? So you like,
Okay, so you think this is proof that he's paranoid? I think it can be, absolutely. What else? Anybody else think we're missing something important though that shows his paranoia, Roger?
Well, I can agree with Levi because it's showing he's paranoid of losing this person.
Well, like a normal person, we did talk about this in class, right? Like, it's not typical to not be able to sleep at night and be woken by those kind of
Right.
fears,
Right.
which is that excessive fear. I get it.
I get it. I feel like there's a really good example we're missing though, like probably the best one of the stories so far. Like I really like the first one so far, and then I want that second one.
Is it the cow?
It is the cow. Tell me about the cow. Remind me what your name is. Ethan. Talk about that cow.
I forgot what page it was.
We gotta find it. You got it? Remind me what your name is. Gretchen.
It's page 9. Yeah, page 9.
All right, page 9.
So everyone should be flipping to page 9 right now. Oh, it's colored.
All right, which part of page 9, Gretchen? And it's tricky. Make sure you find the right line in there.
It starts with then he walked behind Joseph to pick up his nails, he sat, and then bang, Joseph looked up as if something had exploded beneath him.
Keep reading, Gretchen.
The nail got knocked over again and he stood in the stool, and Rosie moved her afraid move. And Joseph stood with his back against the barn wall, with his hands up, and even though he usually didn't look at anyone, he was looking at us and breathing fast and hard, like there wasn't enough air in the whole wide world.
So, which part of that, if we can only use a tiny chunk, which part do you think is best? Which part really shows that he has a paranoid reaction to what happens? Gretchen.
Joseph stood with his back against the barn wall with his hands up, and even though he usually didn't look at anyone, he looked at us and breathing fast and hard.
Absolutely. Okay. So absolutely. So I think we can use both of those. Now, in my opinion, I think the first example, that he won't, and then this one are probably the strongest because there's a difference between, like, one of the things we look at, like on the rubric, it says that you use the best evidence, you use good evidence, you use kind of like sketchy evidence, and basically like you don't even know what you're talking about, you're not proving it. So like to get that A, like you use the best evidence, we know we need this one, right?
So, do we want to start chronologically? So, do we want to start with Alea's piece of evidence first?
I think so.
Okay, sounds good. So what Mrs. Harches is going to type on here right now is she's got her first piece of evidence in mind, and she's going to get this down. We want you guys to wait because, like we said, we got to know what our evidence is before we can give background to lead our reader to where we're at in that story. So she's going to get that down quick.
So don't write it yet,
Do not
though.
write it. Do not write it.
Is there a comma in there, Visai?
I don't know.
No. Don't be throwing commas where they don't belong, Visai.
No, there are no commas. This is all different, like, lines. Like, there's just different lines.
I don't know if we need canned peaches on there or not.
I think let's skip the peaches part.
Why am I putting quotation marks around it? It's direct quote, right? Thanks for raising your hand. It's a direct quote, absolutely. So, here's our quote. What page is that on again?
Wasn't that on
Eh.
right?
You guys all suck right now.
3.
3. Yeah, 3. Okay, so let's just take a minute right now to talk about citations, though. So this right here that I did on the screen, that's a citation, and we expect you to have MLA citations anytime you cite or paraphrase from a text, okay? So Mrs. Cummings is going to do some notes about citations over there, and I'll add them right here. So you always have to have a citation whenever you use material from a source.
Whenever you do a citation, don't you have to put the author's last name?
Yep, we do. We do.
Yep, so there's going to be two things inside your parentheses. All you're going to have is your author's last name, a space, and the number of the page. You're not writing like P and then the number or page and then the number. It's literally just the number. So for our story, it's going to look like, how do you spell Schmidt? S-C-H.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have his last name, Schmidt, and then the page number of our evidence is going to be 3. Always your punctuation is going to go after your parentheses here.
So your punctuation always moves from the end of your quote to afterwards. So when we're back in here, then, what do I need to add in my citation?
The last name.
Is this right?
No.
No! You just lost a whole bunch of easy points if you do that. Okay? And I know it sounds stupid, but it's true. So get that out of there. We know it's a page. You just leave a space. And here's our punctuation. So I took that period that goes here and I moved it after. Okay, but you guys aren't writing this down yet because what did we forget to do?
Put it in.
Which step is forgotten?
According to?
We don't know who said it. We don't know what's happening in the story. So,
In this.
in Gary D. Schmidt's novel, because listen, guys, if this was your paragraph, this is what it says so far. In Gary D. Schmidt's novel, Orbiting Jupiter, Joseph, one of the main characters, displays many signs of paranoia. He won't let anyone stand behind him. He won't let anyone touch him. He won't go into rooms that are too small. Well, this just happens to actually sound like it might make sense, but typically it won't. Okay? What we need is to know who says it and what's happening in the story.
Have a transition back and
So Lily, you'd like us to use something like, for example?
Yeah, I don't know.
For example, in the beginning of the story, now you guys could be writing with me. For example, in the beginning of the story, now what's happening in the story though? We have to look.
Can we hit enter a couple times until we get to that evidence?
The caseworker, sure. So for example, in the beginning of the story, when the social worker is discussing Joseph's background with Jack's parents, she tells them that, and then we'd work our quote in.
Can you do that up there?
We're going to pick this up tomorrow. So be ready. It'll be another exciting day of us writing in front of you. Me writing in front of you, actually.
Yeah, I'm gone tomorrow, so Jocelyn's going to have to be very active.
Yeah.